Alright, TJ. You guys got any good stories involving cannibals? I currently play a goblin in my D&D game that is a cannibal. The other characters are appalled by this, but his reasoning is that it's part of his people's culture. The body to them is only worth anything alive. A dead body is only worth food when dead. So they eat those that die in the town and their enemies as well. They mainly do hunting of regular meats like deer and boar because it takes a long process to properly purify the dead of a humanoid to get out all of the parasites and bacteria in it. Recently, 2 players quit, bringing us down to 6 players. So our DM said that their characters died from an assassin who slit their throats in their sleep. My character checked to make sure they were dead, and then proceeded to crack open their skulls with a crowbar and use their brains for brain soup.
Nice.
The paladin was very against it, but I argued that leaving their body to decay and be eaten by worms and maggots would really be a desecration on their bodies. To my goblin, it's better to be eaten by those you know, so that they can be given nutrient by the meat from your bodies.
This is giving me little, native...
Hello, Clarice.
Well, that too. But no, I was thinking more like Aztec and, South America, native types.
Yeah.
Because they're all into their ritualistic cannibalism,
Yeah. I once played a kobold who ate pieces of the enemies the party killed. He would have eaten the other kobold too if he kicked the bucket, but that grip ended up falling apart. So he ate people, but he wasn't really people. So he wouldn't even eat other people. People if he had the chance. Does that count? I get it. No, I get it. He wasn't a person, but he ate people.
Alright, okay.
He was a kobold.
Yeah, I suppose. The kobolds are, you know what I mean? That kind of makes sense for non-humanoid races.
To eat.
You know what I mean?
I
it doesn't seem that out of the norm.
I played a gothic in Necronica. Basically a zombie lolly that eats other undead, which I suppose is cannibalism, since everybody in Necronica is undead. It wasn't a huge part of the character, but she fought by tearing bits off enemies and eating them, and didn't really get why the other dolls considered eating other undead weird or creepy. I mean, it's all meat. Eating is what you're supposed to do with meat.
Why are these people coming up with good justifications for cannibalism?
I know.
It's not supposed to be like this. It's not supposed to be like this.
I'm not gonna lie, if I was starving and had no money, I might eat you, James. Not gonna lie.
Well, look, if we're on a ship...
Y'all got some meat! Some boy put in a fucking dad joke. So 2 cannibals were eating a clown, and one looked at the other and said, "Does this taste funny?" Oh my god. Ran a one-shot where the player's consciousness was serially implanted into a series of clones, with their ever poorer quality acting as a ticking clock. At one point, they had to cross a desert on foot, and eventually did so by repeatedly wandering off and dying to make a supply depot of their own trail of corpses. That's quite good.
That's quite good.
That's quite smart.
I'll give them that. It's creative.
Yeah.
It's kind of creative. I do want to know more about what game they were playing, though.
Yeah.
That would actually constitute for this idea of
scenario.
I think it's actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
I really want to know more about that one.
For fuck's sake, there's another dad joke. 2 cannibals walk into a bar and order drinks. The bartender serves them because there's no way to know within that frame of reference that they're cannibals. Wait,
hold up.
Whoa. Woke. One of my current characters is an unwilling cannibal. So I guess that counts. An unwilling cannibal?
How does that happen? Well, I suppose you could.
Yeah. Oh, she's a human centipede hybrid. So she hunts a lot and primarily eats meat. Oh, that's why.
I always forget, I always think of cannibalism as no, it's only humans, but I suppose it's the same creature else, yeah.
Like the seagulls who stayed outside KFC.
Yeah, the seagulls that circle at KFC.
Like if a bird eats a bird, is that cannibalism?
I would. Well, does it count if we chimpanzee? You know what I mean?
Or does it it's getting too woke. I need a joint for this.
Let us know in the comments down below what you constitute as cannibalism, alright?
She bit an assailant in the first combat and came to the unsavoury realisation that human actually tastes great, but not great enough she'd actually go hunting for it. It mostly just gave her nightmares. After the second combat, she collapsed next to a pile of human meat while being subjected to a 80,000 calorie deficit. So she basically frenzied and ate up 80 plus pounds of human flesh before she could regain her composure. That led to more nightmares.
Yeah, how do you go through that much meat?
Is that not a thing though?
What?
If the thing, like, if a species eats the same species' brain,
Oh yeah,
do they not go absolutely
Apparently
boogly?
you can't.
Is that not how mad cow disease?
This is okay. So if you guys that don't know, mad cow disease came about. It was actually a really big thing over here in like.
Was it just in Britain?
It was just in the UK, as far as I can remember, in like the late 90s, early 2000s.
I think they were like feeding cows, whatever they were feeding them.
What happened was they were like, see, whenever they would butcher the cow and they would like mulch, like, you know, all the bone and all that type of shit.
Like all the
together.
shit that nobody wants.
Yeah, and they would then feed it to the cattle
cows.
again. However, it's some form of parasite that lives on the brain.
I think it's every living thing's
animal.
brain.
I can't remember the name. It's not a bacteria.
Let us know if we're right.
Yeah, let us know, but we might be off here.
I think I heard that if you eat like if I ate your brain,
yeah,
I would go like absolutely boogly.
Yeah, apparently that's how you get mad cow disease. Essentially, that's what it is. But anyway, so they were feeding them back to the cows, and then they all started going absolutely mental.
And then we ate the cows, and then we got diseases.
Yeah.
Well, not us.
Not
like
us,
we didn't get it, but like
people,
it was a disease. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a big thing at the time. You know what I mean?
Hey guys, sorry to interrupt the video, but today's sponsor is brought to you by Neckbeardia's 3D printed models. Go ahead and check out the eBay store down below. We have tons and tons of really cool looking models. We've got it all from orcs, dwarves, to lizards and fish people. And yes, most of the sets you can get some big bitty bitches in with them. And honestly, they're our biggest sellers.
Yeah, by far.
Yeah. All the models are printed and processed by us, and it is by far the best way to help us out to do what we do. So go ahead and check them out below, and just look at this lizard lady with titties.
She got big titties.
Look at the titties! This was a variant 5th edition campaign, with hardcore survival rules. Our PCs had recently escaped the life of slavery, and were fleeing their orc slave masters through occupied territory. It goes without saying that create food and water in Goodberry didn't work. So our main problem was food. The problem is that humans can't really eat orc food. Orcs have a far more robust constitution than humans, and are extreme omnivores.
Looks like meat's
back on the menu, boys!
Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
It's not possible to digest the close to raw alcohol and wormy chunks of meat they usually eat. However, hunting, while on the run, is nearly impossible, and stealing food was even more difficult and carried a massive risk. The solution we hit on was eat the orcs themselves. Orcs are pigmen, so it stands to reason that they're fairly close to pork. So we started hunting the orcs themselves, not just for equipment but also for food. Generally we would pick off a small patrol, carve off their limbs and flee to cook them in a cave after looting the bodies. It's interesting to note how much orc treasure was basically worthless. Their coins, of copper and occasionally silver, was barely worth the effort it took to carry, though semi-precious stones and gems were portable and valuable. Their equipment was also of poor quality and difficult to wield. Their armour smelled so bad that the smell usually gave us away. I add that orcs could see in the dark, so they had an advantage over our mostly human and one elf party.
I don't know, this doesn't really count as cannibalism to me. Because none of them are orcs.
None of them are orcs.
They're still humanoid though, so I suppose it would kind of count in the realm of... What I think is, does it count if it's sentient?
Do you think orcs would taste like pigs?
Yeah, I would say so. They'd probably be porky. I would say most humanoids are quite porky.
I would imagine it'd be very oily.
It would be a very oily, gristly meat, I would say.
Yeah.
Or it'd be very tough meat.
Yeah.
It depends. I don't know. What does orc meat taste like down below? Please let us know in the comments. Because, you never know. It's an interesting topic. One that I never thought I would ever ask on YouTube, but there you go.
By the time we were more or less well equipped, we had another brainwave. We picked off the orcs one at a time, but after we killed the patrol we always dragged the bodies apart from each other, making it look like they died because they got split up. This was to encourage them to bunch up. If they bunched up, they were a good target for AoE spells and easier to kill.
This reminds me of the way Garboo DMs.
Yeah.
Because Garboo adds in a lot of more tactics and stuff like that. I like that style.
Another major problem was water. The DM ruled that we could drink orc blood.
Nice.
No.
Oh,
just pure grog.
Oh, could you imagine? Now, if I am maybe mistaken, but I know Mongols would live a lot of horse blood and milk, and they would mix it together.
Yeah.
And apparently they would live on that
but
pretty well.
It's iron.
Yeah.
It'd be full of iron, though.
Well, would you be fine? I don't know. Like,
I don't know.
This is the type of, like, I don't know biology well enough to answer these questions. This is the shit scientists should just not ask, okay? Do you want man bear pig? This is you fucking man bear pig, guys, okay?
So the DM ruled that we could drink orc blood, but would eventually end up sick from it, which is not how I think it really works. But overall, we were consuming the enemy because we had to travel light, had poor access to supplies and storage, and there was just so many of them.
Yeah, I suppose, like...
I wouldn't put that down as cannibalism.
I wouldn't like...
It's pure survival mode.
It's pure survival mode, and if these people have been living as slaves their entire lives, I think it's all or nothing.
Yeah.
Like, you know, either they do this, or they die at this point, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't like... It's like you pushing someone that far into a corner, you know?
They're gonna do it.
Yeah. It almost reminds me of Castaway. Castaway would be so much different if you had that body at the start. Be a much different movie. Castaway's horrible though. Put me off that for life.
I know.
I got terrified.
Playing a Minotaur punk rock inspired shitslinger.
Okay, then fuck it, just keep it.
Let's call him Rexar. Pick related. Eventually find a pot that cooks any meat put inside and perfectly seasons it. Immediately start throwing anything I could kill inside of it. Greasy hobgoblins, giant spiders, skeletons for broth, etc. Call it my adventure stew. Fast forward a couple of sessions and we've gone and accidentally murdered the elf mayor. Without thinking, I say, stuff him in the pot. Party thinks I'm kidding. I'm not.
Yeah.
Later on, after a long battle defending the city, I come up with an idea to raise troop morale. Start rationing off my stew to the soldiers. Random NPC guard is blown away by how good it is and demands I share my recipe. Roll deception.
Oh my god.
Natural 1, oh my god.
This is the one time I'm okay with like natural 1 meaning automatic embarrassment.
Yeah. Oh, the secret ingredient is elf. DM describes how one of the soldiers drops her a bowl and he rolls to see what percent of them start puking for the idea. Cue city escape theme. We didn't play after that night.
That was quite good. Actually, really like that. That's a good idea. That's a very good idea. I like that.
Playing Exalted for the first time. PCs encountered cursed village full of snake people. Snake people invite them in, throw a feast, get them to let guard down. One PC falls for Snake Woman Seductress. Surprise! The snake people are cannibals and strike with poison, minor magics and numbers. PCs fight their way out and escape, later return and lift the curse, restoring sanity and humanity to the snake people. PC literally travels beyond the edge of the world and back to save his snake waifu. He is sad she isn't a snake anymore, and their fling was the result of the curse. PC romances her anew, and they eventually have a happy marriage. Technically it was about cannibals, but mostly heroic romance.
Nah, it was about sneak waifu. Well, guys, honestly, I expected way more vor, way more fetish shit.
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
Pleasantly surprised. Yeah, it was an interesting thread.
It was something different, and like, you know, like cannibalism is one of those really weird taboos. You know, where like, you know, when it really comes to it, like, and when it comes just down to survival and stuff, I think like, you know, he's gonna judge anyone.
All's fair in love and war. I don't care.
Yeah, like, you know, when it comes to like, you know, if you really are going to die shipwrecked and all that. Well, let's be honest with you. If I was shipwrecked, I would just kill myself anyway. So I wouldn't even got that far. Be like, that's me. I'm not.
See you later, boys.
See you later, boys. I've seen Castaway. I don't want to be stuck on no fucking shady island. I don't want to.
You don't want to be talking in no ball.
Yeah, like that's just not a lifestyle that I want to choose. Okay, but definitely let us know, and let us know definitely.
Have you ever played anything like this, or has it ever been in a game of yours where somebody has had like this kind of trait?
I think
so to say,
it happened to me once, so it did. But it was more of like a meme, so it was. We were trying to interrogate, and Garbu didn't want us to interrogate, so I put lay on hands, but someone already cut off his arm at the time, and then someone said, oh, can we eat it? And then Garbu was like, no, end here, see you guys next week. So that's the closest I think we've came to cannibalism, but like, let us know your story down below, because it's a bit of a different topic than what we used to. Anything else? Check out the models.
Check out the models.
By the way, check them out. As always, hope you guys enjoyed. Remember, like, comment, subscribe, check the advert out. It really does help us out a lot, and we'll see you next time.
Bye!